The Monroe County Sheriff's Department just got 60 more ways to save a life. The Monroe County Council and Board of Commissioners made a joint donation of 60 automatic external defibrillators, or AEDs, to the Monroe County Sheriff's Office last Thursday. An AED will equip every patrol deputy and jail transport vehicle, as well as all correctional floors, with this device you see here. AEDs are also available across campus should there not be enough time for officers to respond. The world is watching with concern as tensions in the Middle East escalate, this time between Israel and Iran. Israel is contemplating a massive strike on Iran after more than 300 Iranian missiles rained down in Israel over the weekend. The U.S. helped Israel intercept 99% of the missiles. That attack was in response to Israel's bombing of a consulate in Syria that killed several high-ranking Iranian officials. Israel's initial attack in Syria came after Iranian-backed forces attacked the U.S. and Israel military outfits in Iraq and Syria in early April. Now Israel's allies are pleading with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to not launch a counterattack.
If Israel does perform some sort of a retaliatory attack, it will be on a significant Iranian installation outside of Iran. There is a desire to try to refrain from grandiose operations that would put the state at risk.
On Wednesday, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu thanked his allies for their support, but said that Israel would make its own decision on how to respond. Even the Bloomington City Council has asked for a ceasefire in Gaza, but Mayor Carrie Thompson says she will pocket veto the bill, meaning she will not touch it for 10 days. The resolution passed 2 weeks ago, 9-0. It condemns all forms of anti-Semitism, Islamophobia, and bigotry. It calls for an end to the hostilities and an increase in humanitarian aid to Gaza. Mayor Thompson said, and quote, "I will not spend city time on issues well beyond the scope or influence of our city's government. Instead, I will do what I have always done as a committed lifelong Democrat, address such issues with the policymakers who can influence change." With a 2/3 majority, the council can override the veto. Do you still have your Eclipse glasses? We know you can recycle them. Wonder Lab and Monroe County's South Walnut Recycling Center are partnering with Astronomers Without Borders to recycle the glasses through April. If you can't make it to these locations, Allure Eye Care on Sayre Road also has a glasses drop-off box. The glasses will be sent to underserved communities in Latin America in preparation for the next big solar eclipse in 20 years, where they will be in the path of totality. Welcome to the Education Lab for IU's Maria Peduto, the coral reefs of Bali. She began the journey 10,000 miles away in an Indonesian language class at Indiana University.
I really just fell in love with the language. I fell in love with the food, the culture, just everything. We had a Fulbright language teacher who was teaching that class. And so that sort of put me in touch with Fulbright in Indonesia. And so that was really kind of like the start of things.
Sam Haskell, an IU diving safety officer, helped Peduto draw the connection between that and this.
You go out to any recreational dive shop and they're going to be talking about conservation, they're going to be talking about respect for cultural resources because the entire industry is based around non-renewable resources, around coral reefs, around shipwrecks, around these biomes and these environments that are at risk and ever changing.
Now, a Fulbright researcher, Peduto is not only conducting research to help save the reefs, but also building relationships with the people there, like Pak Mangku.
Meeting him has been really, really awesome just to see, I guess how all this actually works in practice, right? There's one way in theory that you enact coral reef restoration legislation and make it happen, but it's a totally different thing to actually see what that looks like day to day.
Her ability to connect with everyone is really stellar. She is very easy to talk to, and I don't want to downplay her intelligence or her, motivation or her, ability to solve problems, but it really is her personality and her personability that I think is the driving force behind a lot of her success.
Success that just may be her ultimate Fulbright oyster.
my work is humanities focused and really focused on people.
She is the kind of person that you want to put in front of audiences and put with people that are decision makers, because I think she genuinely has an ability to connect with people and disseminate information in a way that's unique.
For IU NewsNet, I'm Kelsey Dennehy. Number 20 Indiana baseball, though, was upset at home by Purdue Fort Wayne 9-6 on Tuesday night, granting the Hoosiers their second loss of the season. It was a slow-moving game to start, but once the Matadons got going, they had 8 runs in the first 3 innings, 6 of which were batted in by homers. It took Indiana until the 6th inning to get a score, and while they came within 2 runs, it was not enough to complete the comeback.
We didn't do anything uncharacteristic necessarily. We were ready to go. So I think that's the first thing I told them.
Indiana will head back to Texas for the Frisco Classic, where 2 of their 3 opponents are ranked. Thanks, guys. The women's basketball season came to an end last week to the South Carolina Gamecocks in a 22-point comeback that fell just 4 points short, 78-74. The Hoosiers were fighting for more than just a spot in the Elite 8, though. For more time with their fearless leader, Mackenzie Holmes. I have more on Holmes and the legacy she leaves behind at Indiana. 147. The number of games Mackenzie Holmes wore number 54 for the Indiana Hoosiers. But her impact on her team and her community measures larger than any number.
She's all the right things, and I think anytime her teammates see her getting excited, getting fired up, in those timeouts, I think that they all get excited with her because they understand and realize how much it means to Mac.
Coming here, I didn't think we would be as close as we are today, but I can say she's a sister more than a best friend.
The Maine native did not start out this way, though, which makes her success at Indiana that much more rewarding for not only her coaches and her teammates, but herself.
Accomplishments aside, I've met, friends that have turned into family here at IU, people that I'll have with me for the rest of my life, and I think that's the greatest accomplishment of all, is the experiences, the moments, and the people that I've spent 5 years here with.
Holmes' great leadership does not come without her great ability. Mackenzie Holmes passed Tyra Buss in a game against the Purdue Boilermakers for the title of all-time leading scorer in program history. Holmes finished her career at Indiana with 2,530 points.
Mackenzie is an exceptional player, and she's somebody that I get to see every day, but her talent, she's an All-American. She amazes me every time I step on the court with her.
She has matured while she's been here. She's become tougher while she's been here. And it's because of all the different challenges that she's had to go through. And
it is this winning mentality that will stay with Indiana basketball players for years to come.
The way that we can honor Mackenzie, the way we can honor Grace, the way we can honor the Allie Patbergs that have been in our program is by doing exactly what they do. And they show up and they do more than what's required. And that's part of the recipe for us.
Holmes will play her last game as a Hoosier this weekend in Cleveland for the NCAA All-Stars alongside 5th-year Sarah Scalia.